What's up, it's your boy for another reaction. In today's video, we have The Truth About Diego Pavia by Matt B. Great. Gang, just wait, see what the nigga gonna become in the league first. Like, damn. Like, yeah, the nigga wasn't the best in college, but shit, Jackson Dirt wasn't the best in college. Shit, I thought that nigga was gonna be a bust. Like, yeah, let the nigga pan out in the league. That's if the nigga get drafted, though, I ain't gonna lie.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope all of you having a great day or night whenever you're watching this. If not, I hope this video can make it a little bit better. And man, oh man, one of my favorite events of the entire year is fastly approaching us. And that is no other than the NFL Draft. Love the NFL Draft, love keeping up with it, seeing all these players achieve their dreams, and I think it's a sight to see. We've been keeping up with it on the channel for years now at this point. And with the draft approaching, I figured it's about time we start talking about these players and where I think they're going to go and what's going to happen. Before we go any farther, let me ask you a question. What is the most talked about position heading into the NFL Draft, during the draft?
The most talked about position? I'm going to say linebacker, but you're going to say quarterback. I'm linebacker. Everybody talking about these freak-ass linebackers that's coming out.
And after the draft, and really, in all of these sports, the quarterback position. Why do we talk about the quarterback position all throughout the season, heading into the season, in the offseason, whether that be at the collegiate level or the National Football League? Because it is quite as simple as this. It is the most important position on the field. On offense, unless it's a wildcat or a trick play, that player is touching.
If you got a trash quarterback, you ain't going nowhere. It don't matter how good your defense is. Look at the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns got a good ass defense, bro. Them niggas was stopping teams. They was having low scoring games. Teams was barely putting up points on them.
The ball on every single snap. I know there are some outliers, but I still firmly believe you're only going to go as far as the quarterback will take you. Even with great running back play, great wide receivers, great offensive line, and a great defense, your quarterback has to be a good decision maker. There's a reason if you're great at it, like Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady, you're going to get paid the big bucks, because if you make 2 to 3 bad decisions or bad plays per game, you can cost your team the entire game. I want you to think about it. If you have a couple of bad reps at the wide receiver position or running back position, it's more likely not going to cost your team the game.
Yeah, if you have a couple drops, like 2 drops, you could still win your team the game fast.
But as a quarterback, all it takes is a couple of bad throws, bada bing, bada boom, and yeah, that's all she wrote. And there's some other things I could say. The quarterback is the natural leader of the team, yada, 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 Joe Schmo. You get the point. Long story short, we love talking about quarterbacks. Ironically enough, what is the most overdrafted position in the NFL draft? Quarterbacks. Teams like the Colts, for example, will take a major
leap. Yeah, because your quarterback could get injured at any time. And career-ending injury, so you got to draft backups.
The faith, if they think they got a generational guy.
Anybody could get injured. It's the fucking National Football League. 6'5", 200-pound men hitting each other. Like,
on their hands, and eventually he could turn to the next Patrick Mahomes, and he has all the potential in the world, even though he hasn't really done anything. And you know what I'm talking about, Anthony Richardson. These NFL GMs and teams lose their minds when it comes to drafting quarterbacks. And you know what it is? It's as simple as this, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. FOMO. Fear of missing out. Nobody wants to miss out on the next Patrick.
Tom Brady was a 7th-round draft pick. That's why niggas scared. They just gonna draft the nigga thinking he gonna become something.
Mahomes or Lamar Jackson, so that's why they take that leap of faith. Moving along here, though, heading into the 2020 draft, QB1, it's quite clear and evident. Not really too many arguments going on there. Fernando Mendoza, he's more likely going to go #1 overall. And then QB2 is Ty Simpson, quarterback from Alabama. We'll probably talk about Ty Simpson and Fernando Mendoza. And let me know in the comment section if there's a player you want to see us talk about before this draft. But there is one individual who is quite, how do I say this, captivating. He is quite polarizing, to say the least, and that is Mr. Diego Pavia. I struggle even saying polarizing is a good word to describe him, because it's not like 50% of people hate him and 50% of people love him. I'd say it's more so of 85-15, and 85% of those people being people that don't like him. We've talked about Pavia enough on this channel. You know who he is. No introduction needed. Let's just say this. Establish some ground rules. If you don't know who he is, he's not the humblest person I've ever seen play the sport. I'll give you a great example. Put this in better perspective. Johnny Manziel would be considered humble compared to Diego Pavia at the collegiate level. Now, I know Johnny Manziel, ever since...
Them jerseys were so hard, bro. I need that jersey. I ain't gonna lie. Even though Texas A&M, that's the ops.
His college days has turned into this crazy a-hole, but I'm talking about when he was at Texas A&M. Manziel didn't have a lot of crazy antics and say outlandish things while he was at Texas A&M. On the flip side, Pavia, oh yeah, he's been doing that. There's so many things I've lost count on, but one that comes to my mind the most was after the Heisman Trophy ceremony. Diego Pavia, was he holding up a sign or he's with a sign that said F Mendoza? It was something like that. He had to make a formal apology about it, and there's been some other things he said. He's always like, yeah, I'm the best, I'm this, I'm that, and you know how it is. Pavia's a nut. I think we can all agree on that. But here's what we got to talk about. Outside of how you feel about him, what's going to happen in this draft? Just because he has a crazy big ego and he talks all this talk, that doesn't take away from what he did on the field while he was at Vanderbilt. He was easily one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC. I don't care what any of you say, the dude could play. You don't put up 67 touchdowns to only 12 interceptions in the SEC if you can't play some ball. Let me say that again. He had 67 touchdowns in 2 seasons at Vanderbilt. Men lie, women lie, but one phrase I love saying on the channel is the numbers, the stats, they never lie. Had 3,500 passing yards that ranked 14th in the nation, and he had a total QBR of 87.3. That was top 5 in the nation. I don't even really like to bring up his numbers when I talk.
Did he play good at the Senior Bowl?
About him because some guys can have really good numbers or great numbers, but they don't pass the eye test. He passes the eye test. He's great on paper, but he's also great on film. Love everything I saw from him in these past couple of years playing at Vandy. And I know some of you don't like him, but you have to put that aside when you're talking about and evaluating his game. He's a baller. That is the word I'd use to describe him. A flat-out baller. He's also a natural-born leader. I love his leadership skills, and he's a winner, whether you like it or not. He wins wherever he goes. At New Mexico State and Vandy, he won. He has that grit to him I love. He has that chip on his shoulder, and he has that underdog mentality. And that's why he acts the way he does, and I understand it completely because everywhere he's been throughout his football journey, dating back to the high school days, nobody's believed in him. Nobody thought he was going to beat Alabama. If you'd have told somebody growing up he'd beat Alabama, they'd scoff at you. And if you were to tell him he'd be at the Heisman Trophy ceremony, they'd also scoff at you. He's been doubted in every part of his journey. That's why he acts the way he does. When people talk down on you all the time, when people don't respect you, well, duh, it's going to piss you off. And when you win or do something great, you're going to throw it back in their face like, yeah.
This is high school film.
Take that. Now, I'm not saying I like that approach or attitude. I wouldn't do that. I'd take the high road, but what I am saying is I understand it. I still think he has some maturing to do, but it is what it is. Maybe he'll never grow up. We'll have to wait and see. But here's what I do know. NFL teams do not want a diva or some hothead playing quarterback. They'll put up with a diva at the cornerback position or...
Yeah, he gonna get drafted. Nigga, if Anthony Richardson got drafted, Anthony Richardson got drafted because the nigga was 6'5".
As we know, most divas are wide receivers, but not in your starting quarterback. So will all the antics he did off the field at Vandy affect his draft status? I'd like to say probably a little bit. I mean, it's most certainly going to be taken into consideration when you think about drafting this guy. But outside of that, let's talk about his actual ability to play football, and even if he's a legit NFL quarterback. You got to understand something. There's a reason, like old Timmy Tebow, one of my favorite college quarterbacks of all time, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. If you got to ask me, he didn't translate over to the next level because he wasn't that great of a thrower. He didn't have good mechanics, but he was just a natural leader. He had that grit about him, and that's why he helped lead Florida to the national championship, and he won the Heisman Trophy. He was a great college quarterback. And I know Tebow was a lefty and Pavia is a righty, but if you look at their games, they got a similar play style. Pavia is not a great thrower. He doesn't have a great arm. If anything, his arm is mediocre at best. And that's at best. If I were to grade it on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm giving him a 4. Doesn't have arm strength. He doesn't throw the ball with velocity, but he does know how to wear the ball, which I do like. He's good at reading coverages. He's good at the zone reads, the bubble screens, that gimmicky offense that Vanderbilt ran. But I got to dive right back to this. Like Tebow, all those zone reads, pulling it, the bubble screens, the slants, the RPOs. That's not the NFL game. Man, more likely it never will be. You have got to be able to be a legit pocket passer when they need you to be a pocket passer. Great example. Jaden Daniels, the former LSU quarterback. Jaden Daniels has always been an exceptional thrower. He just so happens to be an unreal athlete as well. Same thing with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson could throw the football at Louisville. I remember that like it was yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know why that nigga dropped in the draft. That nigga can't throw. He a wonder back. I don't know what the fuck they was smoking on.
Never understood why people didn't do the Lamar hype. I'm not saying Pavia cannot throw the football. He can. I saw it at Vanderbilt. I'm saying I don't think he has the arm strength, which goes hand in hand with the velocity to throw the ball at the next level. Does read the defense as well, which I like, but if you make Pavia sit in that pocket and try to beat you through the air, that's recipe for success if you're the defensive coordinator, and that's what Alabama did to them this year. Y'all know why Vanderbilt didn't beat Alabama this year? It wasn't because of their defense. They should have won the game. It's because Pavia had 2 terrible turnovers in the red zone. And here's the downside to him. He's not even half of the athlete that Lamar Jackson or Jaden Daniels is. So if you are, let me put it to you like this, Anthony Richardson. The Colts knew heading into the draft, okay, he can't throw the ball that great, but we can work on that. He's an unreal athlete, and we can use that part of his game. Well, Pavia, he don't even hold a candle to Anthony Richardson when it comes to athletic ability. Pavia doesn't have long strides. He doesn't have any of that. He's short and slow. And I know all my Timothys and Bobbies are going, man, what do you mean he's slow? Listen up, buddy. I'm not comparing him to you watching this video, eating cheesy puffs on the couch. I'm comparing him to NFL athletes, and compared to NFL players, he's slow. Last time I checked, I believe his 40-yard dash was a 4.6. Rounding up, it was a 4.59. My point being, if you're going to be a pocket passer, that's fine. If you're going to be like a Ty Simpson or a Mendoza or Tom Brady, that's fine. But when you know Bobby, he ain't that great of a passer, you need his 40-yard dash to be a 4.45 flat at least. Point being with all this, he's not going to be able to out-athlete, and also meaning outrun these NFL defenders. I also don't think he can beat you passing the ball, so what does that mean for him? He is not even just not a great prospect heading into a draft. He's not even good. I don't even know if I'd give him mediocre. Everybody knows Pavia because of all the social media stuff, and he has social media fame, notoriety, whatever you want to call it. But when it comes to his playing ability, he's not that good of a prospect, I'm telling you. And I'm rooting for him. I really am. I don't gain anything by not rooting for him, but there is not a chance in the world he goes before the 5th round. No way. Best case scenario, 6th round, maybe. What's realistically going to happen? 6th, 7th round, or undrafted free agent. You got Ricky and Bobby listening to this video going, well, Matt, it sounds like you're hating on him, brother. I'm not hating on him. I'm giving you my opinion, and I hate to even say it's a...
Yeah, that Tavon Green nigga gonna get drafted for sure. That nigga like 6'5", and you ran a 4.3. You don't think he could develop as a passer?
An opinion because it's the truth. A 5'10". That's what he was listed. Actually came in at 5'9", 7/8", but I'll give him 5'10". A 5'10", 200-pound quarterback that isn't very athletic and can't throw the ball is not going to succeed in the National Football League. Stop disrespecting the league. Pavia is not even a better prospect than Tim Tebow, and we saw what happened to him in the league. And by the way, different video for a different day, but I still don't think Tebow got a fair shake in the league. That guy won the playoff game on that slant route to Thomas, I believe, and they just threw him to the curb like he was nothing. He won a playoff game. And at least Tebow was big. Pavia, he ain't big. They're going to squash him like a bug. You're going to have some people say, and this is a pretty good rebuttal, I'll give it to you. Well, Matt, what about Bryce Young? He's also roughly 5'10", 5'11".
Damn, Bryce Young, gang, could read a defense. He's an amazing passer. The nigga could run. What is we talking about? Stop it.
I give you that one, but here's the difference. He can throw the ball. A good example is the NBA. If Steph Curry wasn't able to shoot, he wouldn't be in the NBA. If you're going to be a small, undersized guard, you have got to. It's not a negotiable. You can't be a good shooter. You got to be an elite shooter. Same thing with the NFL. If you're going to be a small, undersized quarterback, you got to be able to sling the rock. And unfortunately for Pavia, he can't sling the rock consistently. I'm not trying to sit up here and tell you he's going to be working at Foot Locker in 3 years. I'm just trying to sit up here and tell you he's not going to be a starter in the league, and these GMs do not view him as a starter. Best case scenario, I'll give him... I can't even get to bridge. I can't even get to bridge quarterback with Pavia. I'm saying backup. And there's nothing wrong with being a good backup if you can just stay out of trouble and not cause a distraction in the locker room, because he could have a very nice, I'd say, we'll say 7 to a 9-10 year career maybe. Oh yeah, how did I get this far in the video and I'm bringing it up? It's not good for Pavia too. We'd be having a different conversation if he was 20 or 21, 22. He's almost 25. Yeah. I'm not going to go into detail too much, but it's like the NBA draft. These guys want younger quarterbacks, not older ones. Maybe somebody pulls the trigger in the 6th round, but there is not a chance. There's not a shot in the dark he goes before the end. I'm curious to know your thoughts on us down below, but
Make sure like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out deuces. I think he might get drafted in the 6th round. Yeah.